Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. Build your own house, build your own stove, build your own greenhouse. Although on the last issue, I think it might be better to get a ready-made greenhouse. We talked about it. Anyway, we got the experience. We got it in. There's insect screening against... There's wire to protect the insect screening on the outside, but there's insect screening, no bugs. No bugs. It's a good deal. Okay, back to the stove. Anyway, we've did a pour. That's aircrete on the right there. One pour there. We're going to slip form that. And behind where the stove, the combustion chamber will be, we poured there, and that's about full. We'll either splatter or spray or pour that section there, although that's where the pipe's also going to go out. So, still got to get great stuff in that crack up there. And I'll seal into those windows better. But anyway, okay. So, as I was saying before, I got this laid out. I wrote it on a stenographer's notebook and figured it out, guesstimated. And what I've got laid out here is about exactly what it's going to be. 14 5-gallon steel buckets on the lower level, and then up above that can be plastic. The heat will bleed off. As I said before, goes over there. That's about 4 or 5 feet, 2 feet, 7. That's a 5 foot. That's 10, and then 20, 30 on the return and out. So. And like I said, if I straddle the box here, that's pointed right there. Now, as I was saying, I'm going to move this over a little bit because up on top here, we can have a big pot of stew going or a big gallon, big container with water in it. I was thinking about having a second barrel up there, but and anchoring it into the walls to stabilize it, but I'm not going to do that. It's just, it would take up more room. It would be, I'd like the idea of about this high, being able to look and see that a big, huge stainless steel pot sitting up there is good, and it's either boiling or not, and what the condition is. Okay, now a word from our sponsors. No, just kidding. But you gotta have great stuff to seal things when you're insulating. This stuff here, though, 7th generation. I apparently was the first one in the world to call them and tell them that people are building houses with your dish soap. Go figure. How do these things happen to me? I don't know. Another thing is, what does that look like? That looks like a fire brick, correct? It is a fire brick. But you have fire bricks and then you have fire bricks. And I didn't know this until last week. So, here's a bucket of ready mixed dish soap, but I'm going to use it this is a fire brick. And as you would expect, the fire brick sinks. It's still foaming. That's the 7th generation. This, however, is a fire brick. But if I put that in there, it floats. So if you get up real close there, you can... Let me get it up in the light. It's porous. It's actually blowing bubbles. Took in a little bit of air where the air is coming out and the bubbles are blowing on it. So this is aircrete. It's fire brick, refractory cement, alumina hydrate, and fire clay. Pretty clean. You don't see any blibby blobbities in there of vermiculite or perlite or anything. It's just pure mix. It's clean. There's no discoloration of any other thing, any other substances in it. It's fire clay, alumina hydrate, and refractory cement. So, but it's aircrete, and it floats. You can make a boat, a square boat out of aircrete, and it will float. It will be thermally non-conductive. In other words, a FLIR, forward-looking infrared, thermal signature, waterproof, fireproof, pest-proof, hurricane-proof, tornado-proof, earthquake proof, and for all practical purposes, if you build it right, bomb proof. So anyway, that's just a side note on the Aircrete. Very excited about it. That device there is called the Little Dragon, and it is the device that we're using. I've shown you that before. The wand has a Brillo pad in it, 2 or 3 Brillo pads stuffed in that little PVC thing. You can build those yourself. This is an old fire extinguisher, but you can unscrew the top, put liquid in it, your dish soap mix. It has an air intake, clip on a Schrader valve, hook on permanent hookup, and you've got a pneumatically generator. Put that wand or a wand like that on this tube, and voila, you've got a pneumatic foam generator. Look that up, pneumatic foam generator. So let's see, I want to cover the fire brick, fire extinguisher, 7th generation. Be sure and get that. And everything here I'm just going to build up. These blocks will probably stay there, and I'll fill in with whatever refractory cement and whatnot. I need to put about a 1/4 inch piece of steel right there just to level it up a little bit. It's about 1/4 inch lower. I've got 2 1 1/4 inch fire bricks there to bring it up to the level, 15.5, same as those blocks or whatever the heck they are. So that's about it. We'll have 4 barrels over here. The closest one here I'm going to put with I'm going to put a barrel here, level that block up a little bit better, and I'll have my perlite in it. And I'm going to just cut a hole in the bag and fill it with water because it's a volcanic glass cutting, lung shredding mixture, just like my Cenospheres, which is what we did to them. I dumped them in this tub here. Well, I cut a hole in the bag and started filling it with water, and they're still in there. Although the bag is in there too, and we were mixing it right into the Aircrete. So this is kind of how it shows you how porous it is. A little bit of that kind of oozed out of the wall. It oozed big time inside, and we had to pack it in with dirt to keep it from just pouring out all over the floor. We could have done a lot better job on mixing it. We were in a hurry. I wanted to just do one level pour that day, and then see how it cured, but got my handprint in there. Oh, accidentally. But I almost did a face plant in this stuff when it was soaking wet. I mean, I was balanced up on that 2x4, and I about took a nosedive into it, like Han Solo, frozen in kryptonite or some whatever that stuff was. Anyway, so that's about it. Yeah, it'd be four barrels here and exhaust. I mean, everything's working out just about perfect, just like I imagined it in my head. If you imagine something, you can do it. So even the pipe is working out. We got 10 feet, 5, 10. We got 20 feet of this cheap stuff. And yeah, any comments? This is the heat's going to be bled off before it hits that pipe, pretty much. So I'm not concerned. It's going to be under. I'm taping the joints and yeah, it's galvanized. It's gas pipe. I'd like to have something better, but it was cheap, and it's going to be covered with dirt and whatnot, and most of the heat will be bled off by the time it hits it. So, not too concerned about that. And people don't do it with a rocket stove in a tent. It is dangerous, but there's not going to be that much heat on it, and it's going to be buried and covered up and all that. So anyway, that's it. And I'll fill in this with rock. And by the way, I watched a video of Paul Wheaton up in Montana, and they did what they call a pebble rocket stove, and they just built a big wood casing like I'm going to do here out of this green wood, and filled it with rocks and debris, pebble, just filled it up, thermal mass. And then they put granite tops on it. Whoa, what an idea. But water's 5 times better, so I'm going to do the calculations on that. I'm not going to do it in my head right now, but you figure up, do it yourself as a practice. Take 1428 times 5 gallons, and then I was getting confused. There's how many cubic feet of how many gallons of water in a cubic foot? 8.4, and there's 7.5 gallons of water, 7.5 pounds in a gallon of water, or vice versa. So anyway, look it up, do the math, figure it up. So in a matter of half an hour, I'll have those buckets full, and it'll take a long time to fill 4 barrels, but when I'm done, that will be 200 plus, or ballpark 200 gallons of water, which is 5 times better, and that's about 500 pounds, about close to 400 some pounds per barrel. So there'll be about 2,000 pounds of water, close to it, ballpark, and then the other 28 5-gallon buckets of water over here. So that's about it, and that'll be that'll be equivalent of about 2 barrels over here. So about 6 barrels of water, ballpark. Figure it up on your own, class. That's your homework. Figure up how much thermal mass, and then multiply the weight in the water times 5, and get an idea of how much more efficient that could be, and what you could do in an apartment, in a house, in a tent, whatever. You could have a Walmart tent, do a Dakota, look up my Dakota fire hole, in-ground trench rocket stove, whatever you want to call it. You can dig a trench, insulate it so it projects do a parabolic trench. So it comes down to a point, up, sloped sides. Insulate that with whatever junk you got laying around. Aluminum foil works great. In fact, they use aluminum foil to insulate rocket stoves. Look up Ernie and Erica. Permies.com, Paul Wheaton. Think outside the box. Aluminum foil reflects. Put the shiny side up. Insulate your trench. Put a little bit of dirt in it. Lay your pipe in. Fill it in with dirt. Sleep on it. In a tent, teepee, yurt, whatever, your Walmart tent, your cardboard box if you're homeless. You can build a rocket stove out of soup cans and whatnot. So think outside the box. It'll keep you alive. And if you're going to do any aircrete, get 7th generation. I told them, I said, you need to have this stuff in 5-gallon buckets, maybe 20-gallon drums, and where the 2 handles where 2 people can carry it, but 5-gallon buckets would work. And they gave me the name of their wholesaler, and I called the wholesaler. One of them wouldn't answer the phone. The other one didn't know how many cases of this 50-ounce bottles come in a case because they've never sold a case. That's the wholesaler? Huh. Oh, boy. Okay, Anyway, it's a foaming agent, and it's a good one. It's organic and plant-based. You want plant-based because the bubbles last longer, which means they will tend to remain intact until your concrete sets. So, all right, that's it. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. Grow your own food. Look at that deep green lettuce. You cannot get that in the store. There's kale and all, I don't know. I don't even know what all these things are. Bunches of peppers. I love that. I got this monstrous dehydrator. I can't wait to get that in here. Whole bunch of good lettuce over there. I'm just going to telephoto. I don't even know what all's growing in here personally. There's some squash and some sweet potatoes on the vines there, supposedly going to climb. I don't think they are. Beans, peas, eating stuff fresh out of the greenhouse. And it's healthy. It's good stuff. Whatever them are. Okay, that's it. Quit rambling. So that's my layout. It's going to work perfect. I even have the pipe. I pulled this piece out of over here. Put a shorter piece in because I couldn't, I had to come up here with an elbow to come up and out. Well, that one fit perfect over there. I got the elbow. I got a little piece there, an elbow that happened to be straight and it's rusted, and it ain't going to get any curvier. So, got about everything done deal, I got to mix up refractory cement and start concreting. All right. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. If you are listening to this, you are the remnant. Make aircrete. Survive what's coming. You're going to need houses that are thermally efficient, and you don't have to be spending your whole winter cutting firewood. Rocket stoves is the only way to go in a thermally efficient home. Live in a dome, an underground dome better yet, and you don't need to heat it at all. Or you don't have to cool it either, because it's 60 degrees. You ain't going to die at 60 degrees in the heat, and you ain't going to die at 60 degrees in the winter. In the cold. All right, this is Jerry Diamond. Bye.